So yeah, that was very strange, like in my notes, having just those traits here, which was so odd to me. But the only thing I can figure is like God is love, and these 6 words were absolutely not him. If he's love, these are the things that are the opposite of him. But yeah, it was strange, and like supposed to. I felt like he wanted us to define what the soul was, but really, like, simple terms, the soul is just your mind, will, and emotions. I don't know, like, how much more you can emphasize that. Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I know, what I know, what I know, what I know? Is that the enemy does not want people to talk about God's love.
Yeah.
And how good it is.
That's true.
Because I know Hope mentioned it on one of the takes, but it took us, what, 4 takes?
4 takes. 4 takes.
4 takes. At around the 2-minute mark, the recording would just stop. And then again, right around there, just stopped, just stopped, just stopped. And so when that happens, when you think you're like set up for a home run and then you get knocked down, it's because you're on the right track, people.
Yeah.
So you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going.
And yeah. And admittingly, it's not easy. I feel
it's not
like
easy. We could have just turned it and be like, okay, let's
and I'm
not do
tired.
it.
Like, I'm tired. Like, I told you after the 3rd recording, I was like, I'm tired. I need a nap. Like, it was just, I felt like, because God, I felt like downloaded this so quickly in me, which is not common, that it was really important. But then, like, once we finished, you know, it was like, did that even make sense? Like, I don't know. And you said before we actually hit record and started, you had mentioned like you thought it was going to kind of go differently, but it sounds like what you're saying now is like, yeah, this makes sense why we met so much difficulty and challenges trying to get it out. At the end of the day, part of us were shining a massive light on the enemy too.
I was just gonna say, the enemy was so upset because we like took a page from his game plan.
Yeah.
And we told him how to fight.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. I loved your part in the podcast where you mentioned about like, ooh, they're on my team. They got the rebellion coming out, right? That's right. My team. Yeah, we took some of his key players, if you will,
out of the game.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like that. The enemy follows a formula of dysfunction. And like when you give people the cheat code to how to get out of that system, you don't like it. He don't want it. And we said, we ain't playing with you today.
Yeah.
We're here to give the message that he imparted you, Hope, to the people.
Yeah.
That's it. God wants those messages to come out. The enemy doesn't. So he will do anything. I think some of our most powerful episodes, Hope, when one of us, the recording stopped, we're like, that was terrible. Like, that was the worst. Like, I can't.
That's true.
And then you play the self-doubt game, and then, you know, you listen to it and you're like, oh, that's pretty good.
No, you're right. That has
somebody will text one of us or send us a message about the episode, and we're like, yeah, the enemy just wants to play those games with us, but we're not playing.
Yeah.
Not today.
Well, you know, it's interesting as you're talking about this, and I had some questions and self-doubt coming in, but as I'm thinking through some of the things I was thinking, it's like I was listening to a lie.
Mm-hmm.
But self-doubt means I'm navel gazing, you know, doubting that even though I felt so confident that these notes are from the Father, I'm kind of rebelling, or I'm considering listening to rebellion and saying, wait, that wasn't God.
Right.
Like, here's proof that the door can just swing wide open on these.
Like I said, we rebel probably more times than we even think about during a day.
You did say that, and I thought that was wild and kind of painful. But there's also this beauty of like, having a reset of not my first time is saying, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, I got to open my mouth and say, God, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this pride, this selfishness, bitterness, shame, all of that. I don't want it.
Right.
And I'm saying it more seriously now. So you the opposite, okay? Because to be honest, what actually I was thinking when I was finalizing these notes, and I felt like God was like, hey, they come in agreement, like authentically. I was thinking back to some of my first times of someone saying something like this, and I'm like, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like half-hearted,
Yeah.
and I felt like, I felt it in me of wanting to prevent the half-heartedness. But I think at the same time, most of us probably start with a half-hearted commitment, because then we end up getting hit differently from the enemy, and it gets stronger in the conviction. I don't know if right out of the gate any of us come very, very full-blown convicted of these things, right? Like it's part of your sanctification journey to be like, I'm officially done, right? But at least we have an open door and a chance of someone like ourselves to the listener, like we've had from other people, of saying, hey, come into agreement with me on this.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I will. And so it's like a check in the box. And that at least opens the door to more for you. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Because I really wanted to prevent that, but I'm realizing that was Hope's desire to prevent the half-heartedness. But that might be the open door to all of our healing, is get it out just to begin with, so the ball can get rolling.
Yeah. For sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. And what is coming to mind, what we talked about briefly in the episode too, like we can't block God's perfect love for us. It's so easy to do that, to think that we're not worthy of it and that it's somehow going to miss us. It doesn't miss anybody. It covers everybody. And I made a note when I was running the other day, like if we block God's love from us, we block his gifts, his healing, his restoration, not only for us, but everybody else who comes after us. And so we have to, I'm like hardcore, like we have to accept it, but like not only accept it, but feel it and let it envelop you and let it weave its way into you. So there's no doubt in your mind of his love for you.
Yes, absolutely. And that having that no doubt sometimes takes time, because it takes practice.
Yeah.
It takes practice. And boy, do I wish so much of this was one and done. I think that actually might have been one of my greatest hindrances of growing with him and not blocking the gifts to others and future generations and for myself, is like, is this not done yet? Like, okay, maybe this time I say I don't agree with it anymore and this is it.
Yes. But the enemy's like, ha ha, here it is again. How's she going to respond? What's she going to do? Like he's always going to whip it back out.
Well, you think about it too, by like, okay, maybe this time is it. It becomes performance based.
Yeah.
Which is still not aligned with God, because he has grace and abundance. And so it's, I guess a word of encouragement or a good reminder, stay on your toes, stay armored up, but do not be afraid, and know that truly God's unrelenting with his love. He has more than enough for you. And you have the ability to love like God, and continue to do, like Nikki said at the end of the episode, to journal and to ask him where you can love differently, or how is your soul doing. Ask all these questions and keep pursuing other people with a heart of love, even if it's imperfect, because he's perfecting it through his love day by day.